With the new update came the 5 and 6 star commander system. So, in this video, I'll be helping you decide which commanders you should only keep at 5 star for now and which commanders you should rush towards 6 stars in the legendary commander department, and of course, which commanders you should get as 5 stars as soon as possible in the epic commander department. What is up, guys? MEOWER here, back with a brand new Call of Dragons video. So the update just came out this morning, Song of Summer, and with it comes 5 and 6 star commanders. Now, one thing to note, not every commander is worth 6 starring right away because it is quite expensive to 6 star legendary commanders, while as epic commanders should be relatively cheap, whether if you are free to play or pay to win, assuming you will farm Darklings on constantly and you don't dismantle your epic commander medals on in the Goblin shop as I did. Okay? That being said, if you like content like this, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and let's see which commanders are worth 6 starring in the legendary hero department and which commanders are worth rushing towards 5 star in the epic hero commander department as well. Let's get started. So first of all, let's just explain what 5 and 6 stars are and how can you obtain them and when they become available. Right now, I am in Season 1 Plus. I am not in the newest version of Season 1 Plus. However, I am still in the Burning Stars, which gives me access to 5 and 6 stars artifacts and commanders. So, that being said, that's how you access it. After you're done with your first season, you're going to be able to access 5 and 6 stars commanders, and you're going to be able to access 5 and 6 stars artifacts, which also grant different bonuses. That being said, I hope it's all clear. Few key notes before we get started. The 5 and 6 star bonuses for epic and legendary commanders stack. So, what that means is that if I have two commanders with 5% attack resistance, that grants my March 10% attack resistance, and the same case for the defense penetration. What defense penetration means is that it mitigates defense. You start off, you fight a March that has 100 defense, you permanently fight it, and it has 90 defense for you. If you have both commanders at 6 stars. And of course, you take 10% less damage overall for your March, regardless of what the damage source is. But this excludes skill damage because skill damage is not classified as an attack. It is classified as a skill damage factor. It is not classified as attack or a regular attack or a counter attack. Okay? With those misconceptions out of the way, let's see what makes a commander worth 5 and 6 starring. Starting off, for 5 starring, I would just say blindly 5 star your infantry marches because you really want to get them for get that 5% attack resistance just to make them tankier and survive more on the open field battle because they will be your primary tank. Do note that these buffs also apply when you are garrison or you are rallying, so it's important to make sure you are using the correct hero setup for both your rallies and your garrisons and have the correct buffs active. Okay, so infantry commanders such as Mandolin, Nika, or Garwood should only be kept at 5 stars. They should not be 6 starred until the very end when you're done with all your commanders. The reason for that is you don't get as much value for a defense penetration on those commanders. Plus, it is really expensive to 6 star a legendary commander because it will cost you 1,000 of these regular gold medals, assuming you don't crit at all. Of course, you will crit and it will cost you less, but it will cost you around 1,000 of those, which is insanely high. Lilith, please nerf this. Help us. Even I spend money, and this is a lot. But of course, you will crit, and I will teach you a little trick later on in the video. So keep watching so you don't miss that trick. Okay. So as said, Epic commanders, or sorry, infantry commanders should be kept at 5 star till you are done with your priority commanders that should be gotten all the way to 6 stars. What other commanders should be kept at 5 stars at the start should be your mages. The reason why mages don't benefit from defense penetration as much as something like cavalry and archers do, because mages mainly control the battlefield. They apply a lot of CC, they apply a lot of skill damage. Now, skill damage is kind of affected by defense penetration, but not at the same scale as something like cavalry or archers. Which brings me to the main commanders that should be 6 starred right away as soon as you start your season, which should be your archer commanders, especially Nico and Kenara, assuming you haven't unlocked yet Syndrome or Flaleger or Flalalala. That's it. Her name is officially Flalala for me. I'm not gonna change her name till I know really how to pronounce her properly. Syndrome is gonna be a copy of Hosk, or sort of like a Hosk commander in terms of his skill. So be sure to log in on the stream tomorrow to find out the exact numbers and everything, while Flager or Flalalala will be a little bit like Guanwen, I assume. I'm not sure on that, so don't quote me on it. But yeah, the Archer commanders, Nico Kanara, should definitely be your first 6 star priorities, mainly because these archers in general synergize so well with defense penetration. And so do cavalry. Now, I would argue Emrys is better to 6 star first than Bakshi, mainly because Emrys' skill set is so much better than Bakshi. Emrys should be your first cavalry commander to awaken, then Bakshi, mainly because all of his skills provide so much value, while Bakshi's main selling point is having access to the skill tree and making the march a little bit tankier, but doesn't really provide that much bonuses as much as Emrys does. So I would argue Emrys will stay in the meta more than Bakshi, unless something much more broken than both of them come out, then they will fall off as usual, because there's always the chance of power creep in games like this. So Emrys 6 star first, and then Bakshi 6 star second when you're focusing on cavalry. Nico, Kenara, both of them should be 6 star. I would argue Kenara being 6 star first, mainly because she is so strong right now, and all of her skills provide so much value that you always want to awaken her as soon as possible and get her up and running to make use of the defense break, the extra defense penetration, and of course Nico is well. Nico, his skill will always provide value no matter what mark she's in, mainly because having 15% defense reduction is pretty good with a really high skill factor. That is it for the legendary commanders. Just to recap the legendaries, all infantry should be at 5 star first. Don't 6 star them just yet. Be patient. You don't need them 6 star right away. While your mages are a maybe towards 6 star if you are a mage main and you don't really have a decent archer or cavalry march, then by all means go for them at 6 stars. However, it's not really a top priority. Hosk is a variable factor here. If you really rely on him, get him to 6 stars, especially for rallies. You really want him as a rally commander now, with the introduction of the fair offense talent tree, which is so broken. It's such a broken talent. So if you want to run some rallies, Hosk is definitely your guy to get him to 6 stars as well. And of course, do keep in mind that the deputy and the primary both stack, so they both of them stack. Archers and cavalry are a must to 6 stars. Thea, don't know. Don't use her. Maybe she should stay at 5 star for now. You don't really need the defense penetration on her, and again, it is so expensive, so you should be wise with how you 5 and 6 star your commanders. In this should just be kept at 4 star till you awaken her, and then you can consider getting her towards 5 star, but nothing more than that, because she will always be in a support march. Now, for the little trick to in order to save as many stars as possible and guarantee the highest crit chance as possible is just to use a single star at a time. 1 star at a time will help you crit more and waste less, because the way the critting works, it works based on a single round of stars. It's not based on the amount of stars you use at a single time. So 1 star at a time, if you have the time and patience for it, will save you a lot of stars down the way, because it has a higher chance of critting, saving you more stars down the road. That is it for the legendary commanders. Now for the epics. Epics are relatively cheap to promote towards 6 stars. They are rather inexpensive, and you can always farm all of these, whether if it's on the open field map, from Darkling Forts, from daily objectives, doing the Dragon Trail, doing events, exploring the ruins. Basically, almost everything will guarantee you getting epic stars, so you'll not be in any shortage of them. However, it is always nice to know which you should focus on first. So, in my opinion, the main primary epic commanders that you should focus on getting into 5 stars as soon as possible. Do note that epic commanders do not go to 6 stars, and they only have access to 3% attack resistance, while legendary commanders have access to 5% attack resistance, and then 6 stars, which grants 5% defense penetration. This kind of widens the gap between epic and legendary commanders, a gap that was not previously as predominant as it will be in the next season. So do keep that in mind and plan accordingly. The main commanders you should definitely 5 star as soon as possible: Waldir, Guanwin, Eliana, and of course, um, probably Alwyn. Those 4 commanders you should 5 star as soon as possible, and then eventually work your way on all the other commanders such as Bakar, Craig, Atheist, and finally Alistar and Pan. Those two have the least uses in terms of epic commanders, while it can be argued Avoldir is really good over time. However, with this introduction of the whole 5 and 6 star systems, I feel like he's going to lose a lot of value later on in the game. So I will have to update my tier list soon. So keep an eye on that, and don't forget to subscribe to be the first one to see that tier list once it comes out. As for the costs, again, pretty inexpensive, pretty cheap. I will be doing as many as possible before my next season starts, because I just have nothing to lose right now, and I'm not in any rush, or I have no reason just to wait till next season so I can get my commanders to level 40 and then be able to access the 5 and 6 stars, whether if it's 5 and 6 stars for legendaries or 5 stars for epics. So might as well just do them all. I'll probably do them after this video is done. However, I hope this gives you a good idea and a general idea of how to plan correctly and not waste any stars in the goblin market until you are done 5 and 6 starring all the epic commanders, and of course, oh sorry, only 5 starring the epic commanders, and of course you can't really exchange the legendary medals, but you will need as many as possible. So I advise you try to get them as much as possible from all different sources, such as the weekly VIP shop reset for resources when they appear in the Goblin Market for resources. Never, ever, ever buy them for gems. It's not worth it. It is an outright overpriced thing. And of course, you can get them from events, bundles, and etc., 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 depending on the type of player you are. However, that is it for today's video. If you like content like this, please don't forget to drop a like, don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in tomorrow morning, Friday stream when the new season begins. I will be streaming as much as for as long as possible to showcase all the new season and changes and the new map, of course. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Meow meow.